I'm proud to be joined today by Premier Ford, Minister Mulroney, Associate Minister Cho, PA Thanigasilam, and my Mississauga MPP colleagues, MPP Tangri, MPP Kosandova, MPP Anand, MPP Sabawi, and MPP Kazedo. I would also like to recognize Phil Verster, President and CEO of Metrolinx, along with a number of senior leadership officials from Metrolinx. We are fortunate to also joined by Mayor Bonnie Crombie and our very special guest of honor, Mayor Hazel McCallion, at today's important announcement. It is an honor to pay tribute to Hazel McCallion, a Canadian icon who just so happens to be celebrating her 101st birthday today. Mayor Hazel, happy birthday. Hazel, also known as Hurricane Hazel, is a great leader, an inspiration to all of us, and we owe a great deal of gratitude for her decades of public service to the residents of this great city and the province of Ontario. So without further ado, I now would like to welcome an individual who is the most hardworking person, also demonstrates compassion and grace, and most importantly, a unifying leader. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our Premier of Ontario, the Honourable Doug Ford.
Thank you so much, Khalid, and folks, I'm just going by the heart today. I'm not going to be reading a script. I remember when we were talking about the LRT, and I was talking to the Minister Mulroney, and I reached out to Mayor Crombie and said, "There's only one name we could name this LRT after, and that's someone that's a true icon, not just here in Mississauga, but everywhere across the country. Everyone knows Hazel, and it's just the appropriate thing to do. Hazel, you've been a mentor, and again, before I go further, I do have to wish you, I know we were at the birthday party yesterday, but 101st birthday, God bless you. May you live another 101 years, and there's no doubt you will. But no one has had more of an impact on this city than Hazel has. And it's just amazing for 36 years being the mayor, and you go back 36 years ago, and I'm sure you could look in the archives and look at the pictures, and look at the pictures now, how this is just a thriving city because of Hazel's leadership, and carried on by the mayor. And Mayor, I always say you have the toughest job anywhere in filling the shoes of Hazel. And I know none of us could ever fill the shoes of Hazel, but you're doing a darn good job, and thank you for everything you're doing throughout this pandemic. So again, this is a real game changer here, and I know after we get moving on this, I'm sure Bonnie will be calling me or the minister about continuing the loop around, and you know something, that's something that we all want, and we'll make that happen eventually, sooner than later. But as my finance minister and president and treasurer probably shoot me through the screen for saying that right now, but that's our goal, to make sure that we finish the loop. I also want to give a shout out. None of these projects, with the transportation lines that we're doing, multi-billion-dollar transportation lines, couldn't have happened with without a true leader, Phil Verster and his entire team at Metrolinx, and the leadership of Minister Mulroney. It's second to none. So again, I just want to thank everyone. Hazel, can't wait to continue celebrating your birthday, and I absolutely love you. I think the world of you. And now it's time to pass it over to Mayor Bonnie Crombie. Thank you.
This was overwhelming. That was such great news. I'm delighted to be here with all of you on this very, very special day. And of course, welcome to Premier Ford. It's always an honor to have you here in Mississauga, and to Minister Caroline Mulroney as well. And all of our local MPPs have joined us, because this is really big news, folks, as the Premier would like to say, usually says. And last but not least, to the birthday girl herself, my friend, my mentor, the one and only Hazel McCallion. Let's hear it for Hazel again. So if you know Mississauga, you know that Hazel's fingerprints have touched every corner of our city and every point in between. Hazel, you ushered in the longest era of sustained growth in Mississauga's history. You oversaw the development of our City Hall, our Central Library, incidentally now renamed the Hazel McCallion Central Library, and of course our Living Arts Centre. You've raised millions of dollars for Trillium Health Partners, UTM, and Sheridan College as well. And you set the benchmark for longevity in politics, while inspiring so many women leaders, including myself, to put their names on the ballot. So, of course, it's only fitting that we're here today to name the most transformative project in our city's history, the Hurontario LRT, after our city's most transformative and iconic person. It's truly hard to underscore just how important this project is. 18 kilometers of track, 19-stop LRT. It'll make it the north-south spine of a regionally integrated rapid transit network, from Port Credit in the south to Brampton in the north. And when it's complete, it will connect over 32 million people a year to Mississauga and beyond. The LRT is critical to our city's growth and our prosperity. And over the next 20 years, over 250,000 of a population and employment will be located along this line. The Hazel McCallion Line will support thousands of jobs, businesses, and new housing units. And I'm thrilled that the construction is well underway, with the project on schedule, right, Phil? to be finished by 2024. So I'd like to thank the residents for their ongoing patience and understanding as we work to build Mississauga for the future. And I, for one, cannot wait to take the first ride on the Hazel McCallion Line. I really want to thank Premier Ford, and for that loop, which is coming, we hope, and Minister Mulroney and the Ontario government and Metrolinx, especially the CEO, Phil Verster, for your continued commitment to this project. And with that, I pass it on to the one and only sweetheart of Mississauga, Hazel McCallion.
Good morning, everybody. Mr. Premier, Madam Minister, Madam Mayor, and all the folks that have assembled, the press, and etc. What a great day. I just can't believe when the Premier phoned me and told me he was thinking of naming the line after me. I couldn't believe it. You know, it's I've had many things named after me. This one is really unusual, quite unique. Buildings is one thing, but a line is quite different. It's so unique. You know, I remember when I spoke to the provincial government about the LRT and said to them, you paid for one in Toronto, you got to pay for the next one in Mississauga. And so that's what happened. The LRT is going to be such an asset to the city. Unfortunately, it only goes to Steeles Avenue, but someday, Madam Mayor, Brampton will realize it should go all the way through Brampton to right up through the great city of Brampton. But anyway, I want to thank the Premier. You know, during these tough times, I have great sympathy for politicians, because none of them have been through a pandemic like this one. No other politician in their experience. I experienced a major derailment and went through SARS, etc. But this pandemic is quite different. And I think all the politicians are trying to give their best to look after the people. And let's encourage them instead of criticizing them. Because a gentleman called me the other day, very critical, by the way, of what the province was doing. And I said, tell me what you would do. Dead silence at the other end of the phone. He wouldn't know what to do. So it's so easy to criticize. I think the province of Ontario is handling this pandemic extremely well. I'm very proud because I have time to sit, Mr. Premier, and watch TV and listen what's happening across Canada. And I think the province of Ontario has been well served by the Premier and his cabinet and government. And so we should say, thank you. Thank you for looking after us, because that is what it's all about. And thank you, Mr. Premier, for this great honor of having this line named after me. I know my family, my son is with me, Peter, and I know my daughter and my son who is in Arizona. I want to thank you for this recognition. So, on with the Hazel McCallion Line. Do I get the first part?
Okay, we're all set? Boy, that was quick.